Ladies and gentlemen, this is Justin. Matt Gaetz will not be indicted or charged by the Department of Justice. This is a very good thing because the man has been innocent for the past year and a half, 2 years. They went after him the way they go after Trump and anyone around Trump. They went after him purely for political motives. The reason that we know this is it's not difficult, for example, to prove the charges or the allegations against Matt Gaetz. It doesn't take a year and a half to 2 years. It doesn't take 7 years with Trump to find out if he was working with another country to swing 2016 his way. Okay, it doesn't take 2, 3 years, 4 years to find out if Trump committed crimes with his tax returns. It doesn't take 2 years to see if Trump committed crimes on a phone conversation. Okay, what they do is they generate publicity, and they disparage, and they demean, and they try to tarnish and smear their political opponents, utilizing the Department of Justice. So you could prove in 2 seconds with the laptop emails, the money flow, and testimony from everyone around Hunter and Joe that they committed felonies. You would, but that they have an entire machine, a public relations machine, media, politicians, Department of Justice agency officials within the intel community, stating that a laptop, a New York Post story, showing that Hunter had clear felonies within his emails, linked to hundreds of millions of dollars in business deals, and Joe forcing on a prosecutor, which, by the way, nobody has explained, because there was a Democratic congressman saying, we proved it during the impeachment trial. You didn't even have access to Hunter's laptop. How could you have proved anything during Trump's impeachment trial? You shouldn't even have impeached him. You didn't even have Hunter's laptop or the New York Post reporting. And then when we had the New York Post story, You silenced it with absurd allegations that it was a plot by another country to let you know how criminal and corrupt Democrats were. And then you had Twitter officials working with government officials, and that those clear violations of the law, the First Amendment law. But here, Wall Street Journal, Justice Department drops investigation of Representative Matt Gaetz. AP News, Representative Gaetz has no charges for him in investigation. Fox News, DOJ won't charge Matt Gaetz. In probe, CNN, DOJ officially decides not to charge Matt Gaetz. They went after him because the same thing with James Jordan. They have an accusation, okay? An accusation goes towards loyalists within the DOJ. You had them in 2016 with Clinton and servers funneling top secret intelligence outside of the United States government onto secret private servers that President Obama didn't know, but you had loyalists, DOJ officials. We know that from the DNC and campaign emails, the campaign emails, okay? And you have people within the Federal Bureau of Investigation, their own text messages saying, we'll stop Trump. You have individuals within government who despise Republicans in general, but President Trump especially, and everyone around Trump. So it's been about 2 years about a year and a half to 2 years or so, where they accused Matt Gaetz of something truly heinous and despicable. Okay. Didn't happen. But they generated enough publicity. They tried to put him on the defensive. And now finally the DOJ dropped the case because there was no evidence for it. Okay? That's the problem. They start investigations when there's no evidence. The DOJ and the Federal Bureau of Investigation begin investigations, and they do everything possible to prosecute people. Okay? Most people. With Trump or Matt Gaetz or others, it's let's just go after our direct political rivals, accuse them of everything under the sun, and we'll generate thousands of articles on CNN, The Washington Post, New York Times, MSNBC, Vanity Fair, Esquire, The New Yorker, New York Magazine, The Atlantic, Mother Jones, The Nation, Daily Beast, BuzzFeed, Vice. You'll have a million articles, hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands at least, okay, the past couple of years on everything to do with Trump and his tax returns and all of that, and 2016 and Russian operatives and all of that stuff. This is why people don't trust media, because everyone knows that media, they have picked a political side. That wasn't the case 20 years ago. When it was Wolf Blitzer reporting on Bush v. Gore, he didn't care at CNN. CNN didn't care 20 years ago. Even 10 years ago, you had like Paul Ryan as like Man of the Year, Time Magazine, something like that. I forgot it. Was he Man of the Year, or he was one of the top people? They did an expose on his workout routine. You'll never get that again. Unless media decides, hey, we're going to be apolitical, which if they're apolitical, Trump runs away with it. Because his ideas and policies work. We had record low poverty, and we didn't have an invasion in Europe. We weren't 90 seconds to midnight. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. I'll have a live stream on this a little later today. Ladies and gentlemen, this is huge news, and it's just another example. I mean, I actually think with Trump, they're going to try desperately to indict him because you're going to have impeachment. So you'll have the impeachment of Biden within the next year or so, and with the impeachment of Biden within the next year, then you have the classified data nightmare when he was senator. They found data when he was senator, so it's not all morally relative. Trump was commander-in-chief. He could declassify anything he wanted to. But hit subscribe to this channel if you want to become part of my Patreon, my new Patreon. Thank you so much. Your support is greatly appreciated. Become a member of this channel. Go to hagoodman.com to read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, and other publications. And you can go to, and then become part of a newsletter there. And the super thanks is below next to the like and the share buttons. I will have a live stream later today, probably around 5 or 6 p.m. Pacific time. But ladies and gentlemen, go to H.A. Goodman's other channel. Also, I'll do a segment on this on H.A. Goodman's other channel. But ladies and gentlemen, things are heating up. Finally, the beginning of this month was somewhat slow. I mean, we have UFOs flying above. There's a UFO task force they're going to create, if you could believe that. And we have environmental catastrophes. I mean, it's just unbelievable what's taking place in this country right now. You have a train derailment that is one of the worst environmental disasters of all time, okay, in Ohio. And you have a situation where instead of focusing on, hey, there's spy balloons traversing the country, we have all of these bizarre things taking place. You think maybe you can put 2 and 2 together, Democrats, adults in charge. You have all of these problems in terms of geopolitics. Inflation has gone up. I mean, they've been raising interest rates. The Fed has been raising interest rate. Inflation has gone up. So the economy is going into another tailspin. 401k withdrawals for hardship are at record highs now. I mean, the adults are in charge. We're 90 seconds to midnight. And Democrats had the House, the Senate, and the presidency for the 2 going on 3 years now. We're going on 3 years, and we're worse off. We're 90 seconds to midnight going into another recession. And we had a recession last year, but they just redefined it as, well, unemployment's low. But unemployment's low is because you finally allowed people to work. Because if it was up to Democrats, they would never have opened up the economy. There are pundits and people on the Democratic Party side, on the liberal side of things, who would never have opened up the economy. And so we have a situation where you have Matt Gaetz, who is a strong voice. Trump Republican, a strong voice, makes sense. You can listen to him on Tim Pool. He makes sense. His ideas, Trump policies work in terms of the economy and foreign policy. Especially like if you're on the left, the far left, you should love Trump. But then again, you'd lose all your friends and you'd be kicked off of your Facebook or Twitter or Instagram groups or whatever. So that couldn't happen. But anyway, we had record low poverty with Trump, and we had the Doha Agreement removed Americans from never-ending counterinsurgency conflict that Biden brought them into. And We had a whole bunch of accomplishments and achievements, but Trump's personality, more so the apoplectic response to Trump's personality, overshadowed all of that. And so what they did was they allowed the weaponization of the U.S. government against people like Matt Gaetz. And it's not just people like Matt Gaetz. It could be anyone that is too vocal, too powerful, or has too powerful of a voice, of a political voice. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. Huge news. Very happy for Congressman Gaetz. Thank you.